Shawn had to take responsibility for what he did as an individual. Shawn is the one who pulled that gun out. Shawn is the one who shot. So he has to take responsibility for that.
I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long. Where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
It's the betrayal no one saw coming, a twist that has left jaws dropping across the globe. Shawn Carter, better known as Jay-Z, has reportedly made a bold and calculated move to distance himself from his longtime associate, Diddy. This isn't just a story of faded friendship or professional rivalry. This is a full-blown legal chess match with Jay-Z's survival on the line. And if the rumors are true, Jay's team has decided to throw Diddy under the bus, leaving him to bear the brunt of the allegations against them both. But what's even more shocking, whispers suggest that Beyonce is the one urging her husband to take this ruthless path to protect their empire. Could this be the ultimate betrayal in hip-hop history?
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
The latest legal filings by Jay-Z's powerhouse attorney, Alex Spiro, paint a vivid picture of a man pushed to his limits. Jay-Z, who has vehemently denied any involvement in the alleged incident from 2000, is fighting tooth and nail to clear his name. His legal team has taken a scorched earth approach, targeting not only the plaintiff's lawyer, Tony Busby, but also isolating Diddy as the true culprit. Spiro has made it clear in court documents that Jay-Z wants nothing to do with Combs, framing him as the central figure in this legal storm. According to sources close to the case, Jay's strategy is simple: let Diddy take the fall.
In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?"
The reasoning behind this strategy lies in Diddy's current circumstances. Combs is already facing a mountain of legal challenges, including serious federal charges that could see him behind bars for decades. In the eyes of Jay-Z's team, Diddy is a sinking ship, and any association with him is a liability. Legal experts have noted that Jay-Z's defense seems to hinge on portraying himself as an innocent bystander who has been unfairly dragged into the mess because of his proximity to Diddy. By pointing the finger at Combs, Jay's team is effectively saying he's already going down. Why not let him take this one too? Adding fuel to the fire are allegations that Jay-Z may have provided behind-the-scenes information to authorities about Diddy's alleged misconduct. While no official confirmation of this exists, insiders in the legal world are buzzing with speculation. Could it be that Jay-Z is cooperating with investigators to save himself? If true, this would mark a stunning turn of events for two men who have shared such a long history. Diddy, who has always prided himself on loyalty and brotherhood, would undoubtedly see this as the ultimate betrayal.
Interesting, because obviously this civil suit was coming for a while.
Yep.
And there was some talk between Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers. I think both Busby and Jay-Z's lawyers are really alphas.
But the plot thickens when Beyonce enters the picture. Multiple sources have suggested that the pop icon is deeply involved in Jay-Z's decision-making process. Known for her meticulous control over her brand and public image, Beyonce is reportedly urging her husband to take whatever steps are necessary to protect their family and legacy. A close insider claims she has told Jay-Z that aligning himself with Diddy, even in the smallest way, is too dangerous. If true, this would reveal just how high the stakes are for the Carters, who are determined to preserve their status as one of the most powerful couples in the world.
Currently is balancing the public's need for information and the defense's need for information so they can prepare for trial versus the effect that this will have on the alleged victim and her psyche. And obviously the world knows that as soon as her name is revealed, everyone is going to come down on her, from the media to her, to his attorneys, to the social media. You're going to get it from all sides.
Jay-Z's legal filings have taken a sharp tone, accusing Tony Busby of recklessness and opportunism. Spiro court motions describe Busby as a headline chaser who failed to properly investigate the claims before filing the lawsuit. They argue that the inconsistencies in the plaintiff's story are glaring, and they've wasted no time in presenting evidence to undermine her credibility. Reports indicate that Jay-Z's team is asking the court for sanctions against Busby, essentially accusing him of abusing the legal process for personal gain. This aggressive approach is classic Jay-Z, calculated, relentless, and designed to control the narrative. Meanwhile, Diddy is said to be fuming over Jay-Z's tactics. Sources close to the embattled music mogul claim he feels blindsided and betrayed by someone he once considered a close friend. For years, the two men were seen as brothers in the industry, collaborating on music, attending events together, and even sharing philanthropic ventures. But now, with their legal troubles mounting, Diddy reportedly feels abandoned.
Jay-Z got his by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got it after. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting whooped.
The tension between the two camps is palpable, with both sides trading barbs in the media. Busby, for his part, has fired back at Jay-Z's legal team, accusing them of bullying tactics and desperation. In a recent statement, he described Spiro's filings as frivolous and designed to intimidate. They think they can scare us into backing down, but they're wrong, Busby said. We stand by our client and her claims. He also hinted that more revelations could be on the way, further deepening the intrigue surrounding this case.
You know, a lot of times lawsuits are like playing poker. Like you even when you feign, that you have strength, it could be that you have some weakness in your case. So Busby's never going to say that he doesn't have the evidence. I mean, Busby's always going to say he's got the evidence. He's always going to say, oh, we're going to look at multiple other people. We're going to do all this because he wants to put that fear into that individual.
At the heart of Jay-Z's defense is his insistence that he has no connection to the alleged incident. His lawyers have meticulously dissected the plaintiff's timeline, arguing that it doesn't add up. They've pointed out discrepancies in her story, such as her description of the party location and the people she allegedly interacted with. Spiro has even gone so far as to call parts of her account impossible, citing photographic evidence that places Jay-Z elsewhere on the night in question. This strategy is designed to create doubt, casting Jay-Z as a victim of mistaken identity or, worse, a calculated attempt to smear his name.
Obviously getting a whole new wave of attention and more focused attention on this victim. So I think it's going to be tied to the media cycle, if I had to guess, and how these rulings continue. And they have this celebrity name that is sort of waiting to take over the headlines when they choose to release it. So I think it will be added, but it's going to be a strategic time.
But some observers believe Jay-Z's aggressive stance could backfire. By going after Diddy so publicly, he risks alienating fans who admire both men and see their friendship as a cornerstone of hip-hop history. The court of public opinion can be unforgiving, and some critics have already accused Jay-Z of throwing Diddy under the bus to save himself. Social media has been ablaze with debates over whether Jay-Z's tactics are justified or simply self-serving. For a man who has built his brand on loyalty and integrity, the optics of this move are undeniably complicated. As the legal drama unfolds, one thing is clear. The stakes couldn't be higher. Jay-Z is fighting not just for his freedom, but for his reputation, his family, and his legacy. Every move he makes is being scrutinized. Every statement dissected for hidden meaning. And with Beyonce reportedly guiding him behind the scenes, the Carters are presenting a united front in the face of adversity. But will this strategy pay off? Or will it only serve to deepen the rift between Jay-Z and Diddy, two men who once stood side by side at the pinnacle of the music industry?
Respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right? More than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress.
What makes this saga even more compelling is the long history between Jay-Z and Diddy, their friendship, their shared triumphs, and now their bitter fallout. It's the stuff of legend. But how did we get here? How did two of hip-hop's most iconic figures become embroiled in a legal battle that could destroy them both? To understand the present, we need to look back at the past, at the moments that define their relationship, and set the stage for this explosive conflict. Because while Jay-Z may be distancing himself from Diddy now, their stories are forever intertwined. And as this drama continues to unfold, one can't help but wonder, is this the end of their friendship, or just the end of their friendship, or just the beginning of a new chapter?
So, civil complaint, simply allegations, need to be proven in a court of law, but if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and, we'll see what happens or if the DA looks and investigates.
The unraveling of the relationship between Jay-Z and Scene Diddy Combs is nothing short of a modern-day epic, a saga of ambition, betrayal, and the unforgiving spotlight of fame. Their friendship once symbolized the unity and strength of hip-hop's elite, but today, it's a battlefield where loyalty has been replaced by legal filings and public accusations. To fully grasp the magnitude of this fallout, we need to rewind the clock and delve into the origins of their bond, their meteoric rise, and the cracks that eventually shattered their once impenetrable alliance. Jay-Z and Diddy's story began in the golden era of the 1990s, when hip-hop was transitioning from underground rebellion to mainstream dominance. Both men were at the forefront of this cultural revolution, each carving out his empire with an unmatched combination of talent and business acumen. Jay-Z, a Brooklyn native, was the scrappy underdog with razor-sharp lyricism and an entrepreneurial spirit that set him apart. Meanwhile, Diddy, hailing from Harlem, was already a larger-than-life figure, a master of reinvention and a mogul who turned everything he touched into gold or platinum.
No, I'm not surprised by the ruling because, as she cited in her order, there are very serious allegations about the danger that he potentially poses to other witnesses and the public at large. There are allegations that he has, been violent with others. He's also attempted to allegedly intimidate other witnesses and still contact witnesses while incarcerated.
Their paths first crossed in the early days of Jay-Z's career, when Diddy was already a household name, thanks to his work with the notorious B.I.G. and Bad Boy Records. Jay-Z, still establishing himself, found an ally in Diddy, who recognized his potential and opened doors for him in the industry. Their collaboration on Jay-Z's sophomore album, In My Lifetime, Vol. 1, cemented their professional relationship, with Diddy lending his signature flair to the project. At the time, the two men seemed unstoppable, a dynamic duo who embodied the audacity and ambition of a generation.
Not buying it all, Kana. And safety can mean a couple different things. Safety just doesn't mean free from harm of violence. Safety can also, too, means emotional and mental dynamics that could occur by Sean Combs reaching out to potential witness to get them to possibly change their testimony.
But as their careers skyrocketed, so did their egos. By the early 2000s, Jay-Z and Diddy had evolved from collaborators to competitors, each vying for dominance in a rapidly expanding industry. Jay-Z's Rockefeller Records and Diddy's Bad Boy Entertainment became rival powerhouses, and while the competition was mostly friendly, there were whispers of underlying tension. Both men were fiercely protective of their brands and unwilling to cede an inch of territory to the other. Yet, despite the occasional friction, they maintained a public front of mutual respect and camaraderie. Fast forward to the 2010s, and the cracks in the relationship began to show. By this point, Jay-Z had transformed into a billionaire mogul with ventures spanning music, fashion, sports, and spirits. Diddy, though still a formidable force, struggled to keep pace with Jay-Z's relentless rise. The dynamic between them shifted, with Jay-Z increasingly seen as the king of the hill and Diddy relegated to the role of an aging icon clinging to past glories. Industry insiders began to speculate that their friendship had devolved into a Cold War, with both men harboring unspoken grievances.
If you say the wrong thing or you complain or I don't know, there's an element where you're just, I guess manipulated in a way to make you feel like, oh, you have to please everyone around you. You can't say anything wrong. You don't want to say a bad thing, or when they're constantly asking, would you like to do, and you're like, well, I don't do, and they're like, well, why don't you do?
The turning point came in 2024, when the legal troubles engulfing Diddy spilled over into Jay-Z's orbit. For years, rumors had swirled about the darker side of Diddy's empire, but no one could have predicted the avalanche of allegations that would come crashing down. As Diddy faced mounting lawsuits and criminal charges, his name became toxic, a liability for anyone associated with him. And that's when Jay-Z made his move, distancing himself from his former ally with a swiftness that left many stunned. In hindsight, the warning signs were there all along. Jay-Z's calculated image as a family man and philanthropist was increasingly at odds with Diddy's reputation for excess and controversy. While Jay-Z cultivated relationships with world leaders and corporate giants, Diddy's brand seemed stuck in the past, a relic of an era when bravado and opulence were the currency of success. For Jay-Z, aligning himself with Diddy was no longer just inconvenient, it was dangerous.
I don't know the consequences of what that could have been. So I didn't really talk about it. I should have gone to the police. I should have said something other than to my agent. I'm just thankful that there was somebody there. There was somebody at that party who helped me, because I could have ended up in a really bad situation.
But the fallout wasn't just about optics. Sources close to the situation suggest that Jay-Z had long harbored doubts about Diddy's loyalty. The two men had clashed behind closed doors over business deals, and creative differences, and their once solid friendship had eroded into a fragile truce. When the lawsuits hit, Jay-Z saw an opportunity to sever ties once and for all, framing himself as a victim of circumstance rather than an accomplice to Diddy's alleged misdeeds.
He was using, allegedly, these events to invite them back to these private mansion parties and hotel parties and God knows what else. But he was utilizing the branded events to be able to, get the girls to come over to his private spaces, allegedly.
The narrative spun by Jay-Z's legal team is as brilliant as it is ruthless. By shifting the focus onto Diddy, they've managed to position Jay-Z as an innocent bystander caught in the crossfire. In court filings, they've emphasized the lack of evidence connecting Jay-Z to the allegations, painting him as a scapegoat targeted because of his wealth and fame. It's a strategy that has won over some skeptics, but it's also drawn criticism for its cold pragmatism. After all, this isn't just a legal battle, it's a public spectacle, and the optics of throwing a longtime friend under the bus are hard to ignore. Diddy, for his part, isn't taking the betrayal lightly. Insiders say he feels abandoned and betrayed by Jay-Z, whom he once considered a brother. The fallout has reportedly left Diddy reeling, not just because of the legal implications, but because of the personal toll it's taken. For a man who has always prided himself on loyalty, Jay-Z's actions are a bitter pill to swallow, and while Diddy has remained relatively quiet in the media, those close to him say he's planning his own counteroffensive, a strategy that could include airing dirty laundry about Jay-Z's past.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee. He has a civil background.
The ripple effects of this feud are being felt across the industry. Mutual friends and collaborators are being forced to pick sides, and the once united front of hip-hop's elite is fracturing under the weight of the controversy. Beyonce, who has always been a stabilizing force in Jay-Z's life, is reportedly urging him to stay the course, focusing on their family and future rather than the fallout. But even she can't shield him from the whispers and side eyes that come with such a high-profile betrayal. What makes this saga so compelling is the sheer complexity of the relationship between Jay-Z and Diddy. They're not just 2 men caught in a legal battle. They're symbols of an era, avatars of a culture that prizes loyalty and brotherhood above all else. Their friendship was once a beacon of what was possible when 2 Black men supported and uplifted each other in a world that often sought to tear them down. Now, it's a cautionary tale about the corrosive power of ambition and the fragility of even the strongest bonds.
Well, Combs is separated from the general population, right? He's was with Sam Bankman-Fried at least. And the irony there is that's someone who was granted bail, tried to tamper with witnesses, so the judge revoked his bail. So that just goes to show how these federal judges feel about witness tampering before trial.
As the legal drama unfolds, the question on everyone's mind is simple. How will this end? Will Jay-Z emerge unscathed, his reputation intact, and his empire secure? Or will the fallout from his actions leave a permanent stain on his legacy? And what about Diddy? Can he weather the storm and reclaim his place in the pantheon of hip-hop legends? Or is this the final chapter in his storied career? One thing is certain, this isn't just a battle for justice. It's a battle for their legacies, their families, and their place in history. And the outcome will shape the narrative of hip-hop for years to come.
And that's not the first time we've seen this tactic, and the last time it actually worked. We reported on this too.
The story of Jay-Z and Diddy is far from over. In fact, it feels like it's only just beginning. As the court cases proceed and new revelations come to light, the world will be watching, dissecting every move and every statement. Because in the end, this isn't just about 2 men. It's about the culture they helped shape, the empire they built, and the cracks that threatened to bring it all crashing down. So, what do you think? Is Jay-Z justified in his actions, or has he crossed a line that can never be uncrossed? And more importantly, what does this mean for the future of hip-hop? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, stay tuned for more updates on this unfolding drama